All right, we are in record mode. Welcome to Black NSA Monday Mastery. And once, twice, sometimes more a month, we like to come to you, all different members of Black NSA, and talk to you about something we think is important. And of course, we're getting ready for our biggest conference, right, Carol?
That's right.
This is the Mama Jama. And if you are serious about just leveraging your membership with NSA, you got to be there. So I felt like there's some folks, I'm getting emails, there's some folks that are still on the fence about attending. So this is for you, but this is also for those that are very clear they want to go. We're going to talk about how to get that big ROI so that you can make your money back 5 times over. And we're going to talk about what Black NSA is doing this round, which is a little different. And what else? And we're going to share best practices for new and experienced attendees. There are some folks going for the first time. So 4 categories here. And I'm so excited Carol is going. Carol, what number conference is this for you for NSA?
I've lost count. I've been to, I've been a member of NSA since 1995 when I started going to the conferences. I've missed probably 4 since that time. So you're talking, what's that, 22 years, maybe 17, 18 conferences roughly. So I've been to most of them.
And Carol, tell folks what you do.
Yeah, hi, I'm Carol Copeland Thomas. I'm 30-year consultant, speaker, and trainer in the diversity, multiculturalism, and inclusion space, and have worked with companies around the country and in 7 countries as well. Still learning, always learning.
Oh, good, good. Well, and also she is on the Black NSA Executive Board, part of advisors, and one of my best friends on the planet. Thanks for saying
You're
that.
a sweetheart.
My name is Marquessa Petway, business reinvention expert, speakerpreneur creator. I help entrepreneurs out there that use speaking to grow their business. So some are professional speakers, some aren't, to create that big, huge online enterprise, as you call it, and leverage their expertise in multiple ways. I have attended every single national conference, excluding one, since 2005. Yeah, and not to mention numerous labs and winter conferences and that sort of thing. So not you can go to all the labs and all the winter conferences, but in terms of national, I've missed 1, maybe 2 since 2005. Yeah. All right. So we have a lot to say, so we want to jump into it. It's 15 minutes after. We want to give the full hour, so we want to go to 8:05. So Carol, for those folks that are like, I'm not sure I'm going to attend, should they and should they not? What would be your thoughts?
Let me step back and say that I look at the conference, regardless of where it is in the country, as a way for you to really retool your business and to recharge your batteries. I look at it as a trade conference. It's an industry conference, and you're coming there so that you'll learn firsthand, not secondhand, but firsthand, the latest trends, the latest dynamics that are going on in the industry, problems that have been solved, up and coming people, and ways that you can network and connect with others. So I look at it that way. So yes, it is an investment. Yes, it costs money, but it's you keeping up your competitive advantage because you are involved in the NSA experience on this level. And I can say that after being in business for 30 years, and I'm a big believer and a conference goer. So I look at it from my own experience and look at it as an opportunity to just really being cutting edge when it comes to what's taking place in the industry. And when you're talking about the speaking industry, you're talking NSA.
Mm-hmm. I agree with everything Carol has said. To add to that, for me, conferences is also about that personal connection. Because at times you may decide, all right, I'm just going to buy the recordings afterwards, and that's fine. But what you can't buy are the face-to-face connections. Folks that you've been watching for years, you've been admiring, they're right there in the hallways, they're approachable. People that speak on something you want to speak on, or maybe they have really done well in an area of their business that you want to do well in. The best way is to do some research ahead of time so you don't walk up and just vomit your questions out and make them want to run away from you, but walk up and say, you know what, I've been checking you out. I love the way you do this. And I just have a specific question on that. You never know. That person may wind up becoming your best friend. That person may give you a lead. I remember, Carol, way back in 2005 at my first winter conference. I remember going, I was this wet behind the ears speaker, didn't know anybody. And one thing you don't want to do, and this is more for the newbies, is you don't want to get there when someone asks you what you speak on and give them 15 different topics. Don't even give them 3, because they'll look at you like, yep, that's a first timer, yep. And we call them VIPs. So choose one lane that you focus on. Just, if not for anything else, for the purpose of the conference, please take that advice. But one thing I love was when I told people what I did and I made a good first impression, I got a speaking job out of my very first conference. And no, I didn't go around to people saying, hire me, but I found out that there are some established speakers at the conference that are looking for trainers that are less established. And Marjorie Brody was that person for me. You know Marjorie, Carol.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Hired me as one of her trainers. And I did that for a little less than a year after my first conference. Guys, you never know who you're going to meet. And as being part of the Black NSA community, one of the things we love to do is help out community members and help introduce you around.
I think what Marquessa is saying is that the reason why industries and associations still have live conferences. Now, I'm big online. I love doing things online. This is virtual. No taking away from that. But there is still much value with a face-to-face live conference where you can walk up to somebody, again, who you've seen over and over again. Maybe you've read the articles or you listen to Voices of Experience, but you've actually gone up there and you shake that person's hand and you have a conversation over a salad at lunchtime. You find out the commonalities or the needs that you both have, and you walk out there with a new buddy or a new relationship. I'll also talk about the experience I had, again, probably 15 years ago or so, 14, 15 years ago, when I sat in an NSA workshop and we broke off into pairs like they do. And I broke off with somebody who became my accountability partner for about 5 years, 5 or 6 years. And that's how I got my first book finished in 2003, because of the connection I had with her, and she was my accountability partner. I met her at the NSA conference, and we're still friends today. So you don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know how the relationships are going to be long lasting. You don't know what kind of jobs you'll get indirectly from it. So again, that personal connection speaks volumes in terms of going to this conference and looking at it as a way where you can do some people-to-people networking. That's really important.
Absolutely. And then there is a question there about, we are looking at the agenda. Any recommendations on what? We're going to answer that in the second category, Michelle, so hold on tight. So for those of you that aren't sure about attending, I would leave you with this regarding that. If you're serious about being a professional speaker, a lot of folks, it's just a hobby. They just don't know it. A lot of people aren't really serious, and they will often say, oh, I'm not going to pay all that money to go. And I'm thinking, but are you worth it? Are you worth this investment? I think you are. I made that decision rolling together my pennies. So guys, if you want to be around people that do what you do, get what you do, be inspired, hear their best strategies. One of the biggest questions we hear all the time is, how do I get booked? That question is answered 50,000 times over at the conference, because there's different ways to get booked. It depends on the strategy. It depends on the audience. It depends on so many variables. So if you want that question answered, why not show up? And then that takes us into the second section, which is, you are attending and this is your first time. What are some best tips? And maybe we can kind of roll in Michelle's question, Carol, where she asked, we're looking at the agenda, any recommendations?
Right.
Here is a big thing, and this is for newbies and folks that have been to these conferences before. No one can tell you the best sessions to attend, because it depends on what are your goals in your business right now. I remember going early to these conferences and being overwhelmed. I remember being a newbie going to a media session because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't use that media information for years later. So one of the best pieces of advice that somebody gave me years ago was, what is it that I need help with right now? So if you're working on your brand, you go to a branding session. If you're working on product creation, you go to a product creation section, and so on and so forth. I'm doing a session on how to become a profitable virtual speaker. If you have an interest with doing more virtual stuff and building that side of your business, then you come to that session. But my advice is focus on what are my needs in my business right now, because it's not just about the information you're getting in a session, guys. Just like Carol said, it's about the people you sit beside. It's about the accountability. And then it's about doing research. Say that you identify 5 or 6 sessions you want to go to. Then you're going to go to that person's website, tweet them, say, I can't wait to be in your session, build that rapport before you even meet them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, go and check out their website so you have specific questions you want to ask. And you never know, you may want to building a great relationship with somebody that is doing something you want to do.
Right, right. I'm pulling up the schedule for, let's say, Monday, July 10th, just scanning it very quickly. And the problem is that you have great speakers who are speaking at the same time, and that's always just such a, your heart just throbs. So case in point, you have from 8:30 until 10:30 a.m., you've got the breakout sessions on Monday, and they include a session, one client plus multiple platforms equals more business. Well, Barry Banther is just a rank and file expert in terms of working with family-run businesses and a very profitable consulting business. He's from Florida. He is on the national board. So if you're interested in cultivating ways that you can expand your services for one client, then he would be a great person to go to. Now, competing with him, this is why you need to probably buy the MP3 files or the MP4 files, is you have YouTube It, How to Profit from Free Web Video. I've known Darren LaCroix 22 years. I've watched him grow, not just in NSA New England, which is our chapter here in the New England area, but also seen how he's done so well in Toastmasters. So he's clearly used his skill sets and his achievements and packaged together a very enticing program that's taking place at that time. And again, they're just great speakers and people who are going to be speaking at the same hour. But I just wanted to point those out as an example of, depending on, as Marquesa has said, what your needs are, look at who's speaking, do a little background in terms of who they are, and then see if that person will be able to answer the questions that you have going forward. So I think Michelle asked this question. So Michelle, yes, you should do your homework. Thank you for asking that question. But again, it does depend on what track you want to go down. And I would say that, and I'll talk about this later on, you probably need to have 5 or 6 accomplishments or things that you want to accomplish as a direct result of this conference. And what sessions are going to help you to accomplish that particular whatever. So maybe you want to learn more about technology and online activities, or maybe you want to learn more about branding. The marketing classes with NSA are always very popular. Or maybe you want to really hone in on your craft and learn more about platform presentation skills or interacting with the audience. Anytime Bob Pike speaks or has something going on, because he's the master of interactive games and trainers, then I may want to sit through his session. So you want to look at the experts. What are the experts doing? Where are they speaking at the conference? And based on my list of things that I want to accomplish, will that particular workshop or general session accomplish my needs?
Yeah, very true. And thank you, Carol. That was great. Yeah, look through it, guys. We can both give you 411 on so many different people, but again, I think it's about your goal.
Right.
Really about what's my goal, where do I need to go to? And then, for example, here's another train of thought. Where do I like to spend my time online? If you are a person that loves to be on LinkedIn, that's a big marketing platform in your business, then you may want to go to a LinkedIn session that takes you to that next level. What is it that you need? Don't go to a YouTube session if you don't use YouTube. So really be careful with your time. And then here's another thought too. They do recording, but they only record the visual of the main sessions unless they're going to change something. So that could change. But as far as I know, it's normally audio for all the breakouts. So if there's something where you need the visual, and it's, I think usually with the more technically advanced sessions, you may need to see it, and hearing it can be confusing. Consider that as well.
Mhm.
Consider, oh, I think I need to be able to see this. If it's branding, I think I need to be able to see it. But again, you won't know until you check it out. But we could go on and all day with just sessions. But hopefully that was helpful, guys.
Yeah.
Here's the thing we want to get to too. You are attending first. If you are a first timer, guys, take advantage of all the first timer activities. Go to the first timer things. They have so many, and they're taking up to the next level, because I'm very close to the conference planning team, and they're taking it up to the next level. So go to those sessions. Also, if you know someone like a Carol or me or someone in the BNSA community or just some NSAer, kind of be with them and get those introductions. I can't say that enough. Get to know people, because you can feel so alone, you know, at these conferences. It's not like it's thousands and thousands of people, but there are hundreds, and it can be overwhelming. So find different people to hang out with. But here's the thing I like to do as a first timer. Let's say that you hang out with your chapter all the time. Try not to just hang out with your chapter when you come here. You're on the national level. Hang out with people outside your chapter. You know, that's one of the things I would certainly do.
Yeah. And I would say I'm a diversity speaker. So pick your populations, move around. Maybe you have lunch with one group and then you have lunch with another group another day, or maybe you hang out and go to dinner with another group. So pick your population so that, yeah, you're right, Marquesa, you're not just hanging around the people you know and you gravitate toward all the time. I did this deliberately, particularly early on, is that I made a point to spread myself around so that I met people across the country who were with NSA, so that I would be of value going back to NSA New England. So I've never just hung around people with NSA New England. I've always really tried to build relationships with people regardless of what their ethnicity happens to be in NSA. That's the beauty of it. And take advantage of the international speakers who are coming to our conference. Our conference is the biggest of the global alliance that we're all a part of. And so you'll have speakers from Germany, from France, from South Africa, from Australia. You'll have speakers all over the world who are coming to this conference. So get to know them. Typically they come early and they stay maybe a day or so later. And so you can benefit from their experience. And who knows, maybe you can go to their conference when they're having their conference, just based on the relationships and the conversations you have here. It can all start with NSA.
Yeah. And then too, I would keep in mind my goals. What's my goal? Am I technology? Am I international? What are those? It used to drive me crazy because I wanted to do everything. And then I did try to do everything, and it exhausted me.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. So one of the things I've learned is do what matters to me.
Right.
Community groups really will become your best friends, and we'll get to Black NSA because we're doing a ton of things, right, Carol?
Yeah.
But there are some other community groups like Power Women. They got a lot of activities going on. So hopefully, if you're a professional member, and I think Power Women, I'm not sure, but I think at the conference, it's a requirement that any conference attendee can attend your session, even as a community group, I believe. So even if you're not a professional member, you can still attend PW, and they got a Power Women, so they got a lot of stuff going on. So leave some space open for the community groups, Black NSA, Power Women, I guess a GARPEG, if you like to do that, Drink Another, awesome. That's another one, XY. There is so many different things. It depends on what are my goals, who do I need to get to know, and where am I struggling in my business.
Right. And I would say also, if you find the very first day that you are there that you are tired because you've caught a flight in, or you've driven in, or the train or the bus or whatever, and you're tired, go to bed early that night. So if you come in on Saturday, just after the opening session, just cool it and have the reception food and then go to bed, so that the rest of the experience you'll be well rested. If you come in and you're tired and you don't get some kind of rest at some point, the whole experience you'll just be dragging. And you don't want to drag because clearly you've made an investment. Drink a lot of water. Make sure that you're well hydrated. Watch the carbs that you eat. Sometimes the food is very healthy and sometimes it may not be that healthy. It just depends on how the meeting planners have set things up. So hopefully it will be healthy, but just watch your food intake. again, I play a game. My whole thing is and I've been to a lot of conferences. I play the conference game. I want to endure the entire conference so that I'll be sharp and focused when I come back home. I don't want to come back home and get sick, or I'm just exhausted coming back home because I haven't planned everything out. So the planning and your goal setting also means taking care of yourself so that you can last and you can endure, you can make those networking events, and you can do things in a way that'll keep you productive and excited when you get back home.
There you go. And guys, plan to be, something I was going to say, which just went through my brain here. Oh, yeah. Plan to be present at these. It shocks me sometimes how I'm sitting next to a colleague where there's in a session, a general session or something, and they're on the phone or they're on their laptop. And I'm thinking,
or they're in the hall.
Yes. Now, in the hall, I can appreciate that because they may be in the hall talking to someone. Remember, I think the most important thing, even above the sessions, are the connecting. But when I see you talking to people not at the conference, like I got to go and check my email. I got to go and do this. And I'm thinking, you're not present. You spent how much money to get here, but you're so busy in your phone and everything that you're not there. Be present. That's what virtual staff is about. That's what delegating is about. That's what, set aside that time. And then what I love is I always like to stay a little extra afterwards so I can mastermind with other folks. And we got all that taken care of for you. We're going to get to that in a few minutes. But, be there, be present. One of the things you don't want to do is rush out that last night. Like that last night we have a party.
Party.
But that's, again, more connection time.
Mm-hmm.
More time you can hang out with certain people and get to know them. And then you guys may have goals of moving on up within NSA. So this is, again, because, the more people the more influence you have, more opportunities you get. It all kind of comes together.
Mm-hmm.
So, be present is really the bottom line advice I wanted to give there. Everything. So we'll come up with even more best practices. Guys, any questions or any comments? And a lot of you, Shirley T, Willie Price, I know some of you, this is your first time. If you have a specific question, let us know. Mm-hmm. I did hear that the hotel is pretty much close to sold out. So being at the conference hotel really matters. Now, some people I know will stay off site, or some people, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I've done it in the past, or I decided I'm going to do a bed and breakfast so I can save money. Boy, did I pay for that. If you can stay in a conference hotel, you want to do that. If you need a roommate, just go right on Black NSA. Someone did that for the video lab and we wind up rooming. Just post in Black NSA, I need a roommate.
And also you can go on the NSA website. They actually have a place now where they're keeping a list of people who need roommates. So you can do it on Black NSA or certainly NSAspeaker.org. Definitely.
So now let's get to the fun part. All of it is fun. But Black NSA, don't we have a lot planned, Carol?
Yes.
Four events for
yes.
Black NSA. And by the way, a lot of us are doing sessions, myself, Adele Torio McNeil. So again, support. We love your support.
And going on to that, I'm excited because I believe there are 2 or 3 who are going to get their CSP. During the 2 or 3 African Americans who are going to get their CSP status announced and celebrated at the conference. So that's new. And this is an absolute first. I'm not sure what the results are, but there was a slate and there were 3 African Americans who were slated to be on the board, on the national board. So if that goes through, that's very historic. We've had our first Black president with Lenore Billings Harris. We've never had 3 Black people, I don't think, on the board at the same time, or at least running at the same time. So that's pretty historic. Had 3 on the board, but not at the same time in terms of coming in. So this is pretty exciting, and you'll have a chance to experience that firsthand at this conference coming up.
Absolutely. So guys, let's talk about Black NSA. On Sunday, right after Foundation, the Foundation ends at 7:30. I can't remember what time.
It is 7:30, yes.
Yeah, it ends at 7:30. Black NSA is starting at 7:30. So guys, I'm letting you know this now. Even if Foundation goes over, at that point, it's only 10 more minutes sneak out and come to the Black NSA meeting, okay? Because what happens is last time we held it, and we're planning to go to 9:45, and we don't want to go much later than that. We may even end a little early if we're lucky. And we've got a lot of things on the agenda. We have 3 panels that we're doing. One of them is what else is going on right now that's pretty much the biggest thing that's been going on for the past 2 years. It's been the election, especially the past year. How are you handling it, especially with it impacting people of color so much? How do you deal with it in your business? Should you talk about it? Should you not? Carol Copeland, I asked her to be on the panel because she has really handled it well and shared her views, and and I just love the way you do it, Carol. So we're going to hear from speakers that share their political views and some that don't, and a little bit in between. So we're going to have that panel, which Carol is going to be a part of. Dr. Omokongo is going to lead it, and some other folks are on it. We're going to have a panel that Ann McNeil is going to lead on leveraging the power of mastermind, because Black NSA, we've been killing it right now.
That's right.
Our debut of our summer mastermind. So we're going to talk about, why that's such a critical component in your business. And the third one will just be a short one on the hottest business strategies to grow as a speaker. So you don't want to miss that. It's going to be hot. And then we got awards we're giving out. Some will be nomination for these awards will be coming out in the coming days. We're going to, like Carol mentioned, honor our CSPs, our new board members, and so on and so forth. So that's the main in-conference Black NSA event that's going to happen Sunday evening after
7:30.
Yeah, 7:30. And
That's right.
This is really important. We came up with this as a board. Guys, we never have food, or people get hungry, or maybe the foundation doesn't serve enough. So this year we're going to ask, if you're going to come, whether it's at the door or before, everyone is going to pay something. So we don't know what that's going to be. We're going to make it very reasonable, probably less than $20 for sure. But if you're going to come into Black NSA meeting, we're going to have food. You're going to have to bring some money. So don't show up with no money now. We'll let you know that, and we'll let you know in coming days exactly what that's going to be, so that people are well fed and they're not frustrated. And Carol mentioned that last year, and we tried it. Guys, I've even snuck food in. So this year they're like, no more questions. We're going to have real hotel food. So that means y'all got to pay. So we're going to do that piece. And then there are 3 meetings the day after. The last day of the conference is Tuesday. So Wednesday is the next day. Do not rush home. Don't do that. Again, it's about leverage, right? So the very next morning, early, you're going to do everything you can that night. You're going to check out nice and early. And from 9 to 1, we're going to have the BNSA $1 Million Mastermind. And the only folks that can attend that particular session are current or past BNSA $1 Million Mastermind members. And we're going to meet from 9 until 1. And McNeil is organizing all of that, but we're going to meet from 9 to 1. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be in one of the beautiful suites in the hotel. So we are going to need to confirm it, because we have a limited amount of space. So we're going to get out a list, and because I can't have 100 people in that particular suite. And then that's going to go 9 to 1. And then I think from 2 to 5, we're going to do a Black NSA town hall meeting, where anyone that feels like, you know what, I want to do more within Black NSA. I want to be a part of helping with different initiatives. I love what they're doing here. I think they should do that. That would be the time to do that. But again, we need to confirm that you're going to be there so that we don't overbook the suite. And then from, 2 to 5, and then from 6 to 8 will be the executive meeting. That's only for executive board members like Carol and myself. There's lots of others, board of advisor members. So you'll know if you're invited to that particular one. So again, that's 4 events from Black NSA. Did I leave anything out, Carol?
I think you got it all. And in fact, Michelle is asking a couple of questions. Maybe you can, again, Marquesa, review the dates and times again for Black NSA. And I can say that Michelle is asking those open to everyone. The
Yes.
only one that's not open to anyone is the mastermind session from 9 until 1, unless you are part of that or have been a part of it. The afternoon town hall is open to everyone, and I believe the evening session also is open to everyone. Nope, just so.
That's only open to executive board members.
Okay, so the one in the afternoon, the town hall meeting where we want you to be a part of it, that's open to everyone. And clearly, the Black NSA evening on Sunday at 7:30, from 7:30 to 9:45, that's also open to everyone.
Absolutely. Everyone. And then just to be clear, we don't have a limitation of how many people can come to the one on Sunday night because that'll be in a big meeting room. But we do have a limitation in the suite, so we can't have 100 people up there. So we are going to get a list and get you to confirm that you're going to be there, so that we'll let you know which suite number it is and all that good stuff, so that we stay within fire code regulations. So
For the purpose of Michelle again, walk us through the Black NSA timing from Sunday and Wednesday, Marquesa.
okay, I'm trying to think of something I didn't already say. For Sunday, we start at 7:30, we end at 9:45. Just be there.
Right.
It's gonna be about politics, masterminding, the biggest banging, strategies that we should focus on right now. And we got a lot of other surprises that will happen during that meeting. And then the conference ends on Tuesday, okay? But you don't want to leave. You want to make sure that now some people may say, well, I just want to go to the mastermind. Then just book a later flight then. And then some people may say, I want to go to the town hall meeting, then leave Thursday. And again, different folks need roommates. So just post it in the group and we're sure you're going to find a roommate. From 9 to 1 is the BNSA $1 Million Mastermind in-person meeting. That's for current and past mastermind members. And by the way, here's a little secret that I'll share right now. We are going to enroll other folks that want to participate in the fall mastermind, because that starts 9/11, starts in September. So some folks may decide they want to be a part of the mastermind. Then you are free to attend the 9 to 1 as long as we have space. That's the only thing. As long as we have space, it's open to any and all mastermind members. And it's just our chance to kind of come together for 4 hours and this is a great time to debrief not only the conference and what we're going to do about it and what we're going to take away from it and what you should expect from us 3 months later, per conference, but we're also going to talk about what have you done since the last time we masterminded, within. So it'll be perfect. Don't worry about it.
Great.
Talk to other speakers, is going to be good. And then we're going to have an hour-long lunch break. So if you're worried about food, this resort, guys, has restaurants at the Kawazu. So we're giving you an hour, maybe even a little longer, to go and get some food. We'll have snacks, but no real food. So you can go out and get food. And then from 2 to 5 will be the town hall.
And again, that's all on Wednesday, the Wednesday after the conference. I'm repeating because Michelle has asked the question about what day is the town hall, and it's on Wednesday from 2 until 5.
Yeah, and if you're on the executive board or one of the board advisors, you'll know about the evening meeting also from 6 to 8, where we pretty much, say, okay, well, let's take this, let's take that, and plan the whole upcoming season. So guys, do me a favor. If this stuff interests you, there's one other important thing. We do have a special Influence BNSA Facebook page. And initially it was just for people that are going to work on influence, because we do meet on Thursdays, what is it, Carol, from 6 to 7 to talk about, for people volunteering to help us out for the BNSA activities that we're doing. If you may not be sure if you can help us out, but if you want to be in that group, that will be useful for you. We'll post. I'll try to remember to do that, Carol, or maybe you can, because you're in that group too. We can post the link in the regular Black NSA group. We've done it before. We'll do it again, so that you can join the influence page. And that way you can, matter of fact, you have the RSVP for the festivities on that page. So we'll make sure we get you in that group.
Great. I want to go back to the conference itself and maximizing the conference and say that one thing you may want to do, even if you can't attend, let's say you got 3 people, great people who are speaking at the same time, and you can only go to one. One strategy is to arrive early in room A, where you're not going to stay there. You want to go to room B, but pick up the handout for room A. Sometimes a lot of speakers, they have handouts with them. Sometimes they post them virtually. So get the handout so that if you actually get the download for the workshop, you'll have the handout present. Now, I've done this also. I have stayed in one room for maybe 15 minutes and gotten the gist of that workshop if there are 2 people or 3 people that I really want to see. And then I go to another room. I go to that room. I plan everything out. I go to the other room and pick up that information. And then maybe I'll go back to the original room. So that's a daredevil schedule, but I have a chance to get the essence of both of the sessions because I've planned it out accordingly. So again, look over the schedule so that you'll see what you want to do, what your goals are, and then figure out who you want to see. And who knows, maybe you can have a back-end conversation with one of those presenters after the fact. If you get there early enough, or if you see the person maybe the day before and you say, look, you're competing with somebody else in terms of speaking on the same time. And I promise the other person, because he's part of my chapter, that I'm going to go to that particular speech. But can I have a conversation with you about this topic after the convention? And you exchange cards, and then you can set up a private time to talk to that person. The beauty about NSA is that so often you can get a lot of knowledge and information, and there's no charge involved, no cost involved. Just a thank you note or a little thank you gift or something. So again, whatever you are working on or whatever you are planning on with NSA, chances are there's going to be a workshop or a session or a general session where you're going to get a lot of knowledge. I have found, again, I've been in this business quite a while, that when it comes to technology, this conference is heads and shoulders above many other conferences, not just of having technology, but applying technology and implementing technology in their various sessions and with the information that's shared with us. So you're going to get technology. You're going to also get the latest trends that are going on in the industry. And that, again, is another value of why you want to come to this conference and do the kind of networking and do the kind of planning and preparing that you want to do. And you'll be surprised at many of the top speakers that we see in the magazine or whatever. They're very amenable. They'll talk to you. They'll talk to you about some of the dynamics that you go on. Now, don't ask them before their presentation because they're focused on that. So if you check with them the day before, that's all right. But you can make your comments and make your connections and then see if you can schedule time to chat with them in Orlando or at another time following the presentation that they're giving.
Very good. Guys, I just put a link in our Zoom chat for an article I wrote a while back called Gosh, I Enjoy Live Events and Networking, but because sometimes it can be a pain in the butt. And I really go through certain things to do to make this happen, because I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to different conferences and I was all excited and I met everybody and I had all this stuff to do. And then I came back and jumped into my business and didn't follow up.
Right.
You've heard the fortune is in the follow-up. So if you don't follow up, you're not gonna, do anything, and leads become cold. So one of the things I've learned to do is if I know that I'm not coming back from the conference until Thursday, I take that Friday off. I take that Friday off. I'm hearing an echo.
That's because I'm getting ready to show you a tip. Sorry.
I take that Friday off. Let me meet you for a second, Carol. So that way I take off that Friday and I let that be a rest day and a day that I can start to organize my follow-up list. I actually create right on my phone who I need to follow up with. I have all of that ready, or I'll do it on the plane, or I'll do it with my mastermind. And then that way I'm not overwhelmed. And so when I get home, I rest my body a little bit, make sure I do that, maybe to even take the weekend. And then that Monday, I'm up and at them and I'm reaching out to people. I'm following up to people. Be careful. Do not add people to your email list unless you get permission to do that. That's another thing that first timers and some people that are been around for a while will do. They'll just take your card. People are afraid to give their cards out. So you can get a really bad name really quick if you add people to your email list that give you their cards. Don't do that unless it's explained or understood, or you said something with each other. But create a follow-up plan. You've invested all this money. Why wouldn't you do it? So I've just given you a whole list, guys, right here. And if you're listening in the Facebook group, this is in our file section, and it says, I put it there last year, and it's right there for you.
Good. I'm sorry for shuffling papers, but I was pulling something out because something that's really worked for me through the years, and we get these stack of business cards, and then you get home and you don't know what you've done or who these people are. So a little tip. Number one, and this is not being disrespectful because some cultures don't do this, so I'm respectful of cultures, but I would, after receiving a business card, based on your culture, I have to say that, is write a note on the card of NSA Orlando 17. So that's your starting point. And then some kind of descriptor about that person on the card. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to one of the big box stores or whatever, and I want you to pick up business card pages. That's what I was shuffling. This is from Staples. It costs a couple bucks. And they are sheets of, I think they're 10 on a sheet. And you get a number of cards in this particular package. This is what it looks like. They're just clear package. And you can literally put your business cards in here. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to bring this to the conference. So whatever your folder is, you put maybe 2 or 3 of these sheets or a whole stack of them in your conference manila folder, whatever folder you have that you are bringing. And so along the way, you are filling out the cards and you are putting them in the packet so that you fill it out and then you slip it in there and you're done. If you want to put stars, you can have it color coded. It just depends on how you want to do it. So when you get home, you can put them in a 3-ring binder and then systematically do your follow-up. Hopefully that makes sense. That's made me sane so that you're not crazy trying to figure out who's what. You're just systemizing the cards. I do that with all my conferences that I attend so that when I get back home, it's a lot easier to do the follow-up. And you just write notes on the card or you can write notes elsewhere, but you've got all those cards in one place and you don't have to worry about them. And it just makes things easier. And either on the plane ride home or the car ride or the bus ride, whatever, you can do some follow-up organizing. So when you get home and you're really hitting the ground the next week, you're good to go. Just a tip.
Excellent. I love that. You know what I also do, Carol? I use the Snap app because I use Infusionsoft.
Okay.
And I do that because I'm one of those folks. I'll have all these business cards and I'll say tomorrow, and tomorrow will never come. And
right.
My goal is to put those into my contact manager online.
Yep.
So what I'll do if I remember. So I like what Carol is doing because I agree. Right on the back of that card, one of the mistakes I made, Carol, was getting glossy cards. So I stopped that. I get MAC cards so that people can write on the back of my card, although they would have to find a place that didn't have, you know how we like pictures. And
so, right. Well, you can always get some little labels. You can get some little labels and the little white labels, the shipping labels, and cut them up, and so you can go on the back and write your notes on that.
That's true. But the Snap app lets literally you just sit it right on the app, guys, and it copies the card and puts it right into your Infusionsoft. So that's another one too. And Snap is used, I think, not only by Infusionsoft, but maybe by Aweber as well as by MailChimp and some of the other email marketing. So check with your email marketing service that you, or well, wait a minute. I'm sending the wrong message. Infusionsoft is also a contact manager, so I put in it for that. But unless your email marketing service is a contact manager, don't do that, because then people go right on your list, and that's exactly what I said don't do. So make sure it's a contact manager that it's going into. I think they got that point.
Good point. That would include FileMaker Pro and other groups like that. I use FileMaker Pro, so that's important. No.
And this is how you wind up having lifelong relationships, because Carol and I really got close at the conference.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? I mean, seriously,
right.
Go all the way back all those years. We built this friendship based on those conferences. So it's worth it. It's worth the friendship. It's worth the connection. It's worth all of that. So show up so we can see you, and we can get to know who you are, and we can, and we can collaborate with you and all those other things that we love to do as speakers.
I think one of the fun things is coming to NSA and seeing people who you know from other conferences. And for me, I'm thinking about George Curry, who unfortunately has passed away, just a great journalist, part of the National Association of Black Journalists, just a revered person, but he entered into the speaking space and became, a fairly regular attendee of NSA and participated with our activities. So you may see people who are revered in other industries, and they'll pop up and they'll be a part of NSA. And that's happened for me more than once. I know there's a well-known African-American keynoter who was a part of NSA for a couple of years. So it's kind of fun, the people who are a part and how you can learn and interact with them in different ways that you may not have an experience doing elsewhere.
So true. That's true. And by the way, we're going to do something special for George Curry. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to give it away, but I'm glad you brought it up. Just show up, y'all. You only want to accelerate. And I'm going to tell you something. I love to make this connection. By the way, Barry Banther commented, Carol, in the group. Yeah, he commented on the live feed.
Oh, Barry, I mentioned your name, Barry.
I wanted to make sure you knew that. But one of the things I always say is it's like 15 meetings, and it's like 15 small NSA meetings all in 1 week. So if you don't go to any other conference or any other NSA national meeting, you got to go here. Just going to your local won't get you there. And I love my local New York City chapter, but I would not be where I'm at in my business without making that investment to the national. And we're in Disney, y'all. So they're going to sit up here and appreciate Disney World as well. So we're going to have fun. We're family, and people like, know, and trust you more when they see you there all the time. So I look forward to all the first timers. I think, Willie, this is your first time. All of you guys that are coming, welcome. Congratulations. I think Willie is also a new member. So
awesome.
Congratulations. Any final
welcome
before we end?
Just come excited. Keep asking us questions. Plan before you get there. Go through the agenda so that you see the names, you see what's going to go on, you get a sense of, and maybe you're not quite sure exactly what classes you're going to take, but at least have a sense of what's going to be offered when and how you can participate. And then go and Google some of these folks. Go to their website, see what they're doing, because that may prompt you to ask questions of them and do your homework. I'd be very impressed if someone had gone and checked me out, gone to my website, found out information so that they have a sense of what I'm going to talk about. I would appreciate them doing that kind of homework so you can do that kind of homework and build stronger relationships with those who are going to be there.
That is so true, Carol. Brilliant. And start now, because right now I'm like got my head down. That's why I wanted to get out all these calls, because the rest of the month you may not hear from me because I have to put my head down and get ready to present there because I'm excited.
You're going to do a great job. Great. And your fan club will be there too. We'll all be there supporting you.
We're like, I got to go do all that. So we got this out of the way. Hopefully, guys, we don't have to post a recording in the group. It's already there. And then we will try to send one out through email. Give us 72 hours. And thank you, Carol, my friend.
Let me say, I would encourage you to get involved with NSA. Clearly, Black NSA. This is all about Black NSA, but get involved with NSA. The beauty about going to the conference is that you will learn again firsthand what NSA is doing and where they're going. Now, for the first time in years, we have an interim executive director, a president and CEO, because Stacy Techner, who had been with us for so long, has moved on to another association. So who knows whether the direction or the focus or the thrust is going to be a little different, and you'll have a chance to go to the meetings and ask the board meetings. Here we had Barry Banther who commented a little while ago on our session. He's listening to our session. He's an NSA board director. He's a member of the board. So you have access to these people firsthand and live. You pay your money. So again, get fully involved and fully participating, and hopefully you won't be a one conference wonder, which we always see, and we know it's going to happen. But a one conference wonder is somebody who only comes once. You see them once, they make great strides, and then you never see them again. So we want you to be a repeater. where you are coming again and again and again. You're getting involved with your local chapters. You're staying involved with Black NSA. You're getting involved in our mastermind group. And you are really putting yourself in a position where you can build your business because of the resources that you're getting by going to this convention.
And guys, stay tuned because Carol has agreed to do a post influence call to help us, get all of our stuff together and follow up. So Carol will be running that call. So look out for that announcement. Thank you guys. We want to end on time. So I appreciate you, Carol. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Marquessa.
Thank you. And we'll see you at Influence. Bye.
Okay. See everybody. See you in Orlando. Bye-bye.
Hang on, Carol. Bye, guys. Oh, I'm so silly. Stop live streaming. All right.